tree like this. Here's the trouble. A tree in the hole, make a circle, and the hole in the ground, and the green grass grew all around, and the green grass grew all around. Got it? We do the motions in that second part, okay? And we're going to add them on. And on that tree, and on that tree, there was a branch, there was a branch, was a pretty little branch, was a pretty little branch, that you ever did see, that you ever did see. A branch on the tree, and the tree in the hole, and the hole in the ground, and the green grass grew all around. Well, in the old days, when you got these big old holes in your blue jeans, like he's got, and your mama said, no more wearing those blue jeans, she didn't just throw those blue jeans out. She took the blue jeans and she cut out squares and shapes out of the good part of the blue jeans, and she saved them in a pile. And then when your daddy wore out the shirt at the elbow, she didn't throw it out. She cut out the good pieces and she saved them. And she did that with all the leftovers for the clothes. And then when she got a nice big pile, she'd say, it's time to make a patchwork quilt. And she'd sew those patches together and she'd make something new out of those old things. So this song is called On My Grandma's Patchwork Quilt. Now I made up some motions to it. I'll sing it for you first and then I'll teach you the motions. On my grandma's patchwork quilt, squares of corduroy and silk, red and green and blue and yellow too, on my grandma's patchwork quilt. Okay, now here are the motions. I want you to put on a pair of glasses for your grandma, because you know our eyes get old. On my grandma's, and probably the first place you need a patch is right here, because you're sitting on it all the time. So for patch, I want you to kind of hit your bottom. Patchwork, and for quilt, I want you to pretend you've got a needle and you're sewing, okay? Okay? So on my grandma's patchwork quilt. Good. Now show me a square like that. Squares of corduroy. Corduroy are those groovy pants we wear when it's cold. Squares of corduroy, and silk is nice and smooth, okay? Squares of corduroy and silk. Let's do all that. On my grandma's patchwork quilt. Squares of corduroy and silk. Now here's my favorite part. For red, hold up your hand like you're stopping traffic, like a red light. Red and green, like you're waving the traffic on. Red and green and blue, the blue sky. And yellow, yellow too. That's yellow too. And yellow too on my grandma's patchwork quilt, okay? Red and green and blue, and yellow too on my grandma's patchwork quilt. There you go, let's try it. On my grandma's patchwork quilt, squares of corduroy and silk, red and green and blue, and yellow too on my grandma's patchwork quilt. Just a patchwork quilt so fine, it was an art of her design. A piece of sister's dress next to grandpa's vest on my grandma's patchwork quilt. Here's your part. On my grandma's patchwork quilt, squares of corduroy and silk, red and green and blue, and yellow too on my grandma's patchwork quilt. I got a pillow for my head, and it wants to be my friend, but nothing keeps me warm in a thunderstorm like my grandma's patchwork quilt. Here we go. On my grandma's patchwork quilt, squares of corduroy and silk, red and green and blue, and yellow too on my grandma's patchwork quilt. Now my grandma's gone to rest, and her quilt is all that's left, but her love, I swear, is in every square of my grandma's patchwork quilt. On my grandma's patchwork quilt, squares of corduroy and silk, red and green and blue, and yellow too on my grandma's patchwork. I said, on my grandma's patchwork quilt. Good job. We're